Have you ever answered the question, what do you do, by saying your function? Like, I'm a doctor, I'm a lawyer, I'm an engineer. If so, you've just said you're a commodity, like a bar of soap or a can of peas. But I think you're probably actually one of a kind. So tune in and I'm going to show you how you can let people know that. I'm Lilli Cloud. I'm the founder of Bluefeet, and I help people get and succeed in careers that serve them and the world. Today I'm going to talk about that dreaded question again. What do you do? You know, it freaks people out. And I get it. I do it all the time myself too. Someone's like, so what do you do? Maybe you're at a dinner party or you're at a business function. So what do you do? And you say, I'm an engineer. Or I'll say, I'm a marketing consultant. Because maybe I'm just too tired to think of anything more clever. And let's face it, it is clear. People do understand what that means, generally speaking. But here's the problem with that. When you say, I'm an engineer, or I'm a coach, or I'm a lawyer, you've just said you're like millions of other people. And I don't think you are. Well, let me give you an example. I looked this up. Like, how many lawyers are there in the county of Los Angeles, for example? So let's see. Currently, there are 55,837 members of the California Bar right here in Los Angeles County where I live. This explains why whenever I do a public talk anywhere around here, there's always a lawyer in the room. Always. Probably I pass like 10 lawyers walking down the street on any given day because there are a lot of them around here. So if you say you're a lawyer, you and 55,000 other people right here in the neighborhood where I live. So let's say you went to a really good school, like Stanford is the top, no, it's the #2 school on the US News Report. Great. You should absolutely use that. But there are, let's see, 6,061 members of the California Bar that graduated from Stanford. Once again, that's really not extraordinary enough for who you are. Here's one of my other favorite examples. I do strategy for a Fortune 500 company. I heard somebody say that actually. And my thought about that is, well, that's cool. That sounds awesome and important. But how many other people do that? I guess probably about 500. Don't you think? Maybe 5,000, maybe 50,000. It's a lot, but we know it's at least 500. So I want you to show that you're more extraordinary than that. I want you to move from being a can of peas or a bar of soap to like the Coach bag of your industry. Somebody that commands a price, right? Because you're worth it. Even better, how about a custom built motorcycle that's going to get me where I need to go? Now we're talking. So here's one way that you can start to break out of the commodity while still being comfortable and talking about your function. Because we do need to know what you do. Okay, we got to make it clear. Like, you don't want to be so clever that I don't actually get it. That's a problem. So, but there's a very simple way that you can talk about what you do, and that is to talk about the impact of what you do. The impact of what you do. Okay, not just what you do, but the impact of it. And it's way more fun. So my elevator pitch, which I gave a minute ago, was I help people get and succeed in careers that serve them and the world. That's the impact of what I do. What I actually am functionally is I'm a marketing consultant or a career marketing consultant. And some people would just say a coach. Well, there's like a billion coaches out there now. So I try to avoid that because that really puts me in a super generic category, and who knows what people think of that. They've got all sorts of ideas. So that's why I talk about the impact of what I do. What are you going to get when you work with me? This is not hard to do. It's very simple. Let's look at a few more examples. So let's see. I have a friend who is an audio book narrator. So she might say, I help people enjoy books while they're driving, cleaning their house, or maybe cooking. I'm an audiobook narrator. So you could lead with the function and then give the impact of it, or you can start with the impact and then give the function. But they go together very nicely. And it's just more interesting than just saying, hey, I'm an audiobook narrator, which is sort of cool because then you want to know what books, like, have I listened to your book? You know, that's kind of a cool job, actually. Actually, you probably all have a cool job. If you can figure out the impact of what you do, you're going to find out your job is sort of cool. Okay, let me think of another one. I help people stay safe on our freeways by making them stable, sound, and resilient for today and the long term, because I'm a construction engineer. Well, I kind of took for granted that somebody made this freeway happen when I was driving to work today, right? I just figured, hey, it's a road, it works. But somebody put a lot of time and effort and talent and education and thought into that. And isn't it kind of cool that that person realizes how important their work is? I think so. Would you want to hire somebody who just thinks they're doing a generic job? Or would you want to hire somebody who actually really cares about what they do? And that's the beauty of impact, talking about the impact of what you do, is that it makes me realize, oh, you're not just phoning it in. You actually care about this. You actually see yourself as having an important role in what you're doing in the world. I want to hire somebody like that, not just somebody who's like, I'm an engineer. I'm a lawyer. Yeah, I went to Stanford. Cool, that's great. But the impact of what you do. Now, there's a story, and you may have heard this, the bricklayer cathedral story. I'm sure there's probably a proper title for it, but it's sort of a parable. And the parable is about these three bricklayers. Each of them get asked what they do, and each of them gives a different answer. The first bricklayer says, I lay bricks. That's what I'm doing. The second bricklayer, says, I'm building a wall. Okay, that's kind of cool. But the third bricklayer says, I'm building a cathedral. Wow. That bricklayer really sees themselves as doing something meaningful. That person's more passionate about their job. That person is showing up excited about what they're going to do every day. Which of those three bricklayers would you want to hire? The one who's building the cathedral, that's who I want on my team. Now let me turn this on its head for you too. If you are hiring somebody, and you want to hire the best team, of course, because that's what's going to help you be successful in your career, right? You want the best talent. Are you going to want to hire the one who's just laying the bricks or the one who's building the cathedral? Well, you want the one who's building the cathedral. But you need to go out and say to your prospective employees, hey, if you work for me, you get to build a cathedral. That's a cool job. You could just say, hey, I need bricklayers, come on in, and I pay you well, and I'm going to give you some good benefits. But I think if you were to let people know that they can come and build a cathedral with you, and then you deliver on that, that's going to be awesome, right? You're going to have the best talent. So whether you're trying to attract talent or whether you're the talent that is trying to get the job, Talk about the impact of what you do. And that is going to move you way past being a commodity, way past the bar of soap, the can of peas, all that stuff, into the coach bag area, and maybe even into the custom motorcycle area. And that means you're going to have more fun doing your job, and you're going to be able to command a better price for it. And you're worth it, so why not? Okay, go for it. Bye.